Absolutely. Here's the clear, continuous script for a 20 to 25-minute YouTube video, based on your original transcript, written in a polished narrative style for voiceover or on-camera delivery, with no headings or chapters. Barron Trump stayed silent for years. No interviews, no sound bites, no scandals. He was the quietest branch of the Trump dynasty until Jasmine Crockett said his name on live television. They were only 12 minutes into the segment when it happened. Studio lights sharp, the energy tense but routine. Just another round table on Capitol View. The kind of political show people half-watch while making coffee or folding laundry. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett sat in a deep navy suit, poised between two pundits. Across from her, Victor Levinson, an ex-lobbyist turned political commentator with a habit of interrupting mid-sentence. The topic: ethics, campaign finance irregularities, conflicts of interest, hush money. Nothing new until Jasmine leaned forward, locked eyes with the host, and said, "I just find it wild that nobody wants to talk about the trust realignment in January 2021, particularly the one that involved Barron Trump's name. That wasn't an oversight. That was intentional." Silence. The host, Dara Collins, blinked, visibly thrown off. Victor smirked, assuming it was a slip, but Jasmine didn't flinch. She sat like she'd been waiting to say that for months. Draw tried to pivot. "Congresswoman, just to clarify, are you alleging that Barron Trump was involved in a financial transfer at the end of the Trump presidency?" "I'm saying there's a paper trail with his name on it," Jasmine replied, "and we ought to stop pretending it doesn't exist." The control room cut to commercial fast, but it was already too late. Within 5 minutes, the clip was everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. The quote, the reaction, Dara's stammer, Victor's smirk. It exploded online. Hashtags were already trending before the show even came back from break. In the control room, a junior producer whispered, "This one's going to blow." And it did. There hadn't been a live TV moment that unpredictable since Katie Couric caught a senator lying about Afghanistan troop numbers in 2011. But even that didn't touch a former president's child, especially one who had barely spoken in public. Phones rang off the hook. Journalists texted each other in all caps. On a news panel in Austin, an analyst took her earpiece out mid-segment and asked, "Can someone confirm if that claim has legs?" No one could, but the damage was done. In the next segment, Jasmine didn't walk it back. She doubled down. "I'm not attacking a child," she said. "I'm pointing out how power protects itself." If Barron Trump's name was used in that realignment, then let's talk about it. Let's stop pretending some people are too sacred to question. Victor fired back. "You're politicizing a kid. I'm politicizing documents." She snapped. "If a name is used in a trust structure to protect wealth from scrutiny, that's not off limits. That's a red flag." The host ended the segment early. No clapping, no laughter, just tension. And backstage, a staffer whispered, "Barron's name is trending everywhere." But what no one knew yet, not the pundits, not the producers, was how close that comment came to the one person who wanted nothing to do with any of it. The clip lasted just under 40 seconds, but it didn't matter. The impact was instant. To understand why those 12 words hit so hard, especially inside the Trump family, we need to rewind. A week before the segment, Jasmine Crockett was handed a confidential file by a staffer on the House Oversight Committee. No explanation, just a scanned document with a date. January 12, 2021. It was a trust adjustment filed during the final 8 days of Trump's presidency. and in the section marked beneficiaries, a name appeared that caught her off guard. Barron William Trump. Crockett had reviewed hundreds of financial filings in her previous life as a civil rights attorney. This one was off. Barron's inclusion wasn't just odd, it was tactical. A young, quiet name, and inserted at the right time to keep the wealth invisible. She sat on the document for days, debated with her chief of staff, Patrice Lattimore. "You say that on TV," Patrice warned, "and they'll say you're dragging a kid into politics." "He's 20, Jasmine replied. "They used his name. That's not a child. That's a shield." So she brought it to the studio. And when Victor started dismissing ethics probes as partisan witch hunts, something in her snapped. She didn't accuse Barron of wrongdoing. She just said what was in the file and let the room go silent. In the days that followed, pundits analyzed her words frame by frame. She never said he committed fraud, one anchor argued, but she implied he was part of it. Another replied. Legal experts began weighing in. One former IRS investigator said using a family member's name for last-minute asset shielding wasn't illegal, but it was a common move to avoid scrutiny. The Internet, of course, didn't wait for confirmation. It never does. Barron has done nothing wrong. Read one popular tweet. He's tried to stay private. Why drag him into the swamp? But beneath the noise, insiders were whispering. Who gave Crockett that file and why now? Then a detail emerged that most people missed. A February 2021 press release from a Delaware-based firm confirming a trust restructure 3 days after the date on Crockett's document. No names were listed, but the timing matched. Someone had moved money quickly and quietly. Which brings us to the person at the center of it all, Barron Trump. He didn't see the segment live. He was sitting at a Sarasota cafe with a childhood friend, Drew, flipping through a college course catalog. His phone buzzed. A cousin, then a missed call from his mother, then another text. "Dude, what did Crockett just say about you?" Drew looked up. "Man, you might want to see this." He turned his screen. Jasmine Crockett, calm, precise, saying Barron's name like it was just another sentence in a script. Barron stared, watched it again and again. "Why would she say that?" he asked finally. Back at the condo, Melania was pacing. "I told your father to stop using your name for those things," she said. "No greeting, no hug." "So it's true?" Barron asked. "I don't know," she answered. "Probably. He did a lot of things without telling me. Did I sign something? Number? Then how the hell does my name end up in a trust document?" Melania looked away. "Because that's how they work. They use names like yours. Young, quiet, clean. That's not clean." Barron said, "That's messed up." And she didn't argue. That scared him more than anything. Later that night, his father called. He didn't answer. But in Palm Beach, his name was being spoken in a much different tone. At Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump stood in the sitting room, Fox Business muted in the background. The headline on screen read, "Crockett names Barron Trump in trust allegation." Ivanka was on speaker from Miami. "This is going to spiral," she warned. "The networks are already pulling documents." "Let them dig," Trump replied. "There's nothing illegal, but there's something," she said, "and that's enough for them." Then Melania spoke. "He didn't know," she said. "Who didn't?" Trump asked. "Barron, he didn't know, and now he's angry." Trump paused. Something flickered. Regret, maybe? Then it vanished. "Find out who leaked that file," he said to his lawyer. "I want a name." But elsewhere, a man named Curtis Roast was already digging deeper. He wasn't a journalist in the traditional sense. No newsroom, no degree. But he had a talent for following money. He remembered seeing Barron's initials once in the Delaware Trust Registry. Back then it meant nothing. Now it meant everything. He searched again. Trust filed January 2021. 57 results. Then he found it. BW Legacy Holdings. January 12th, same day as Crockett's document, listed as a minor adult beneficiary. BWT. Barron William Trump. It didn't say he managed the trust, but it meant someone expected him to benefit. Curtis posted one screenshot with a caption, "Why was this trust listing BWT created 3 days before the end of the Trump presidency? And why has no one asked?" The tweet exploded. Barron saw it in bed. He read it 3 times. Still no statements, no denials. And that silence was starting to feel like a sentence. So he made a decision. He reached out to someone he trusted. Leah Quinton, a classmate from Columbia Preparatory School, now a YouTube journalist focused on mental health and social commentary. Not CNN, not FOX, just someone real. They recorded privately. No lights, no makeup, just a handheld mic. Barron didn't deny the trust existed, but he made one thing clear. I never signed anything. I didn't know about it until last week. If someone wants to hand me a vault when I'm 30, fine. But don't use my name like I agreed to this. I didn't. He paused. It's weird seeing people talk about you like you're either a victim or a villain. I'm not either. I'm just trying to be normal. That clip, just 15 minutes long, went more viral than Crockett. The U number sign, "Let Barron Speak," trended for hours. And Jasmine. She was back in D.C., standing at her office window, watching the sky turn bruised above Capitol Hill. Her chief of staff paced behind her. "You don't have to apologize," Patrice said. "But you have to say something. You're letting everyone else steer this." Jasmine finally turned. They're shifting the focus to tone, not truth. She recorded a short video. No flag, no makeup, just her at the kitchen table. To those who felt I crossed the line, I hear you. I understand. And I also believe we can talk about power without pretending certain names are off limits. She paused. If a name was used, it should be questioned. That's not an attack. That's accountability. That night, an envelope arrived at her office. No return address. Inside, 3 new documents. More trust transactions, and 1 notation. Custodial override under adult minor clause. Patrice raised an eyebrow. "You think it's bait?" Jasmine shook her head. "No, it's a door, and someone's daring me to walk through it." Back in Sarasota, Barron sat by the pool, earbuds in, no music playing, just silence. Melania sat nearby, tea in hand, cold. "I watched the interview," she said softly. He smiled. Wasn't trying to sound like anyone else. "Do you want to know what your father said?" He shrugged. "Not really. He said you were careful that you didn't give him anything to twist." He was relieved. Barron looked at the water. "I think he was scared." Melania nodded. "Not of you saying too much, of you saying exactly enough." Later that night, Donald Trump showed up. No tie, no cameras, just a father. "I know this isn't how you wanted to be seen," he said. "I didn't want this either. Not for you." "Then why use my name?" Trump paused. "I thought it was harmless. I didn't think it would matter. It was supposed to be protective." "Not for me," Barron said. And his father had no